So I will straight away go into the practice. First, I will share some of the slides um, because I want to make sure there is a larger understanding about yoga, and pranayama is basically kind of a exercise, kind of a techniques to deal with problems in our life. But in the perspective of Advaita Vedanta or the spiritual aspects, it is in a different way. So let me share a few slides, then we'll straight away get into the practice. It is very important to set the tone or the intention for the practice. Then that practice gives much more benefit in our life. Hope you all can see my slide. Excellent. All right. So, what is pranayama? In the Yoga Sutra, Sage Patanjali put this in Tasmin Sadi Shwasa Prashwaso Gati Vichedaha Pranayam. Breaking the habits of irregular, that means unconscious, inhalation and exhalation of the breath. Inhalation of the exhalation is the pranayama. And what is the goal of pranayama? As I said earlier, this is a huge misunderstanding. Pranayama is a technique to deal with my health issues. But the practice of pranayama facilitate dharana, which is the next two anga of the Ashtanga Yoga, dharana, dhyanam, and samadhi. So ability to redirect our mind towards our true self is true pranayama. And look at the words of Sri Ramana Maharshi. Prana bandhanat leena manasam eka chindanat nashadetyaha. That means through the practice of pranayama, through the holding of the prana, the vital, our mind become lighter and ready to turn inward and dissolving the mind into its own source, the pure intelligence consciousness. So that is the goal of pranayama. When we approach in that direction, our physical, mental, and other health aspects will be automatically taken care. Why I want to emphasize this is when we approach any of the yoga practices in the aspects of solving the problems, you always meditating upon the problem will be increased, solution will not be found. Whereas the approach of spirituality, you hold on to the higher, perceive, and in that pursuit, everything else will fall in right place. How to attain the goal? Again, in Patanjali, mentioned this, Satu Dirghakala Nairantirya Satkara Asevita Dhrida Bhumihi. Practice become beneficial when well practiced regularly for a long period of time with a deep love toward the self. Not an idea that am I going to get my blood pressure coming down, all these things. That will happen. But if you worry about that, that energy moved towards that and you will not get the desired benefit. And also in a practical way, I found it's very helpful to have a group practice so that dynamism, the motivation will be there. So try to join any group that available and make sure every day 20 to 30 minutes of practice done for your body, mind, and soul. Today, I'm going to demonstrate something called three-step rhythmic breathing. This is a very ancient technique which was used the Vedic recitation in a certain rhythm. But there was a teacher in Mumbai who got this initially, but he thought as a normal household, we may not have 45, 50 minutes, an hour to practice every day. So he brought this down into about 9 to 10 minutes of practice. By practicing that regularly, and I've been practicing regularly every day morning. I used to practice 40 minutes, then I brought it down. We had some other group practices. But if you start doing that, you will definitely find the differences in the mind, body, and in the attunement toward the spirituality. So what is this three-step rhythmic breathing? Three-step, the first one is the posture. In the Yoga Sutra, Tasmin Sati, before Shwasa Prachwasa Vichedha, Tasmin Sati, there is a word used by Patanjali. Tasmin Sati means you gained asana siddhi, you're able to stay in a position comfortably without any disturbance, is asana siddhi. Tasmin sadi, after that, so that posture is mentioned in Yoga Sutra. Then you enter into pranayama, and then breathing and attention. These three together in a rhythmic way we breathe. That is called three-step rhythmic breathing. Quickly, one more minute. I will take, Sangeeta ji or Gomadi ji, please alert me when my time is up. I will just go through the practice. Then about 6-7 minutes of practice, I will demonstrate. Those of you who want to practice with me, you can either sit on the floor or sitting on the chair. Also, you can do some of them. One practice probably you may not be able to do. So I will go quickly. And 1 minute of chest breathing we start with. We keep our hand here. When we are inhaling, we expand the chest. Exhale, contract the chest. Our chest area, there are a lot of emotional energies accumulated. When it is not released properly, that will turn in against our heart and lungs. And also, prana, the vital force, are basically remain at the chest area. So we'll be what you call inducing that energy by doing the chest breathing. And the rhythm will be 1, 2, 3 inhalation, 5, 6 exhalation. 4 we don't count, it's a silence. As you look at in the nature, you take a stone, throw up, it goes depending upon the force that you gave and gravitation and all that, it goes into a certain distance, and there is a slight pause, then it falls down. Similarly, between our inhalation exhalation, there is a slight pause. That is that golden silence. I don't want to go detail. We can discuss that in later time. And the next one, we'll do the samana, which is digestive organ. We'll keep our little finger at the navel. When we are inhaling, 1, 2, 3, push the stomach out. 5, 6, exhale, pull the stomach inside. The posture is important. You will be keeping like that. You don't look like this. Keep your back straight, neck straight, shoulders relaxed. The third one, we will stretch out the legs in something called this way, Paschimottanasana. You hold the toes, keep the spine straight, look up, and then use the lower abdomen to push outside. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, pull inside. That will do for 1 minute. And then we'll do the, for the, so that is the apana elimination process. And then udana at the throat. We take 5 shots of inhalation, exhale through the mouth. And then third one, we'll do the vyana, circulation. We'll simply sit like that and simple breathing. Normal, an adult breathe 12 to 14 breath in a minute. So in the normal, the vyana, the circulation, we'll use that 12 breath. In the other practices, they are called refining practices, more detoxifying. So it will be faster, 36 breath in 1 minute. 36 breath is a child born. When we born, we breathe 36 breaths. We are going into that rhythm, and like that we'll do. Now I'll straight away enter into the practice, and I will play a music. As I said, the teacher who initiated us did not disclose what was that Sanskrit mantra used. And also we have to be careful using any Sanskrit mantras because they have the, what you call the ucharana shuddhi, the pronunciation is very important. If you do wrong, we may affect bad. So they made it very easy. 1, 2, 3 in a rhythm, 5, 6 is the music. So I will play. Those of you want to practice with me, you can watch. I will stop sharing. And Dineshji, if you want to make my more, so that people can see large rather than in the gallery view. So first sit in a comfortable posture. Even those who are sitting on the chair, you can bring the hand at the chest area. And 1, 2, 3, inhale, use the throat to inhale, infuse the air to the lungs, expand the chest. Exhale, contract, release through the nose. All these are inhalation, exhalation through the nose. Only one practice that I will show you, you only exhale through the mouth. Rest of them, everything inhale, exhale through the nose. Total, it takes 9 minutes everyday practice. After you practice for a year, you can increase into 2 minutes, 20 minutes, third year, 3 minutes, 30 minutes, and fourth year, 5 minutes total, each of them.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3,
Bring the little finger at the navel. Here, if you are the beginner, you will observe when you are inhaling, normally the stomach goes inside. So by consciously, you push the stomach out as you inhale, pull the stomach, not with the hand, but the muscles at the stomach. Pull the stomach in when you exhale. Same rhythm, 36 breath in 1 minute.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6.
I know I have 2 more minutes, so stretch out the legs. I will show you 3 more practice quickly. So 3 minutes. Raise the hands. If you are able to hold the toes, hold it there, but don't bend at the knee. If you are not able to hold, keep it at the lower leg. Keep the back straight, face up. Inhale, exhale from the lower abdomen, Apana Vayu.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3,
Sit with the cross leg or on the chair. Take 5 shots through the nose, exhale through the mouth.
2, 3, 4, 5, out. 1, 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 2, 3, 4.
I'm quickly going to go show you the last one. Here, you slowly inhale with the music, hold the hold, exhale, hold without air, inhale, hold, exhale, hold without air. So that is the practice. I just want to quickly show all the 6 practices. Then after that, you come back into the same way. You stretch out the leg, you do the breathing, and then stomach breathing, chest breathing. Thank you.
Thank you, JG, for that wonderful presentation and nice demonstration. I hope we all get to do that every day. I now invite Medha ji, our Acharya, who is a retired scientist and also completed 2-year course in Sandipini. And she has been doing sessions for Devi group, and she's our Acharya. I invite her to do the presentation and give us an idea of what graceful aging is. We are all aging, and how can we age gracefully, spiritually, and scientifically? Medha ji, please start your presentation.
Hari Om. May I have the gallery view, please? I want to see people, not myself. Not
Medha
take
ji,
the spotlight from me. Take the
Medha ji, you can make it yourself.
No, I was earlier, but Jaiji, when he mentioned, it was changed. So I am in gallery view. But if you take the spotlight off of me, then I should be in a gallery view. I want to see people, not just me. Am I on?
Yeah,
No.
you're not on spotlight anymore, Medhaji.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm in speaker view. Yeah, I'm in gallery view. All right. Let's go. Hari Om. Sorry for the technical interruption, but I just want to make sure I see people, because that way I can communicate. I cannot talk to myself somehow yet. All right. So what is graceful aging? That's what we are going to do. Now, before that, this is a session on Vanaprastha. So I want to get a clear idea about what is Vanaprastha. And then I will go to what is graceful aging. And then I will further go what are the different ways we could glide into Vanaprastha using graceful aging. But of course, for all this, I have 15 minutes. So what I plan to do is I will give you an introduction, and then we'll plan for the future events as we'll go further. But at least you will have an idea, some idea to get started with. What is Vanaprastha? What is graceful aging? And what are different ways that we could get into graceful aging and the Vanaprastha? Okay, so Vanaprastha. What is Vanaprastha? Our usual idea is Vanaprastha means getting old. That's how somebody would interpret. Getting old is Vanaprastha. Or somebody would say taking retirement. I took retirement, but I'm not old. I'm just kidding. Okay, I took early retirement by my choice, but I don't consider myself old. And none of us probably consider also old, but that's okay. So it's considered Vanaprastha, getting old, or taking retirement, or becoming a senior citizen, something like that. Okay, Or if we go literally, the meaning of Vanaprastha, Vana, and then Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha. Meaning, literal, the meaning of Vanaprastha is staying in forest completely or all the time, staying in forest. That is Vanaprastha. Okay, but we are not going to stay in forest also. We know that pretty well. And these days, we don't go to forest as a Vanaprasthi. So what does Vanaprastha mean in today's time? Okay, that's what I will try to talk about. But before that, I want to give you one more meaning of Vanaprastha. And that is taken from Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad describes meaning of Vana. It defines meaning of Vanam. What is Vanam? We consider forest, but Vanam in Kenopanishad is defined as Vananiyam, Bhajaniyam, iti Vanam. That which is adorable, most adorable. That which is most worshipful. So what is most worshipful? Is Brahman. So anyone who wants to stay, abide in Brahman all the time, that is Vanaprasthi. One who wants to stay or abide in Brahman all the time is Vanaprasthi. Vanaprasthi. Okay. So I describe you the meaning of Vanam from Kenopanishad. Pra, all the time. Stha, staying. So, but how do I stay in Brahman all the time? That obviously the next question will come. Okay, so I will try to talk about that a little bit, but at least we have an idea what does Vanaprastha mean. And Vanaprastha is a third stage in the 4 life stages that have been described by scriptures. We all know that 4 stages are called as 4 ashramas are there. First one is Brahmacharya, or we translate it as student. And assuming here life of 100 years, 25 years each have been assigned. So first one, 25 years, study, student, Brahmacharya. Next 25 years is Gruhastha, translated simply as householder. Then next 25 years, Vanaprastha. We know the meaning of Vanaprastha now, but in general in English is translated as retired. We will keep that for time being, for simple understanding. And the last stage is sannyasa, or total renunciation. Okay, so student, householder, considering as if retired, and then complete renunciation. So those are the 4 stages prescribed by scriptures. For us, I'm going to glide into now graceful aging. If we follow these 4 steps, we can have graceful aging. Okay, so what does that mean? Graceful aging, again, one more time, I will try to clarify. In simple words, doing any activity which is appropriate to our age and with appropriate attitude. One more time, graceful aging, doing something, whatever activity, which is appropriate for the age and doing it with appropriate attitude. That would be graceful aging. Aging, as Sangeeta ji said earlier, everybody is aging. That's a matter of fact. Nobody cannot get rid of aging, no matter how much science is advanced. We can say all those chromosomes and then their endings, and we can have telomerase and whatever, we can bring all of it. We can delay something, but we are going to age, but we have to age gracefully. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's go one step further. Is everybody with me so far? Vanaprastha, third stage in our life, Real meaning of Vanaprastha is abiding in Brahman all the time. And for that actually is prescribed to go to forest, because it's difficult to do it in our whatever regular life that we are living. So that's why it was prescribed. Or as Ajay ji said earlier, we have to do a complete U-turn and stay inward. Our activities are completely outside as a Grihastha in the second stage of life, completely outside. So we are trying to turn inward when we are going into Vanaprastha. So that one thing I'm mentioning. Second thing, these 4 stages which are mentioned or prescribed by the scriptures to live life, if we live accordingly, there would be automatically graceful aging. So I won't concentrate too much on the first 2, because this is a Vanaprastha. We all know student and Grihastha life. Vanaprastha I will try to little bit concentrate today, but we'll elaborate as we go further. That we have to have a clear goal, what I want to achieve in life. That goes for anything, student, householder, anything, we have to have a clear goal. So as a Vanaprasthi or whatever, before even in the Grihastha householder life, we have to have a clear goal, where I want to go, what I want to achieve. At the end of the life, what I should say I did in this life. Okay, so if I have a clear goal, then I will follow that goal and will try to follow the means. Otherwise, as it is said, one person was working in a company, had a very successful career. He went up the ladder, as they call it. He went up the ladder. He had all the awards and money and name and fame and everything. He reached up high that ladder, and when he stands up there, he realizes he's not peaceful. He's not happy. And that's what he was saying. Oh, my ladder was against the wrong wall. He put his ladder against the wrong wall. Instead of putting wherever he wanted to go, his ladder was somewhere else. So we need to have a clear goal. And also it is mentioned that just for understanding purposes, we earn wealth, but we lose health while doing that. We earn a lot of wealth, career, name, fame, awards. Yes, we should have that, but doing that, we ignore our health. And then afterwards, we spend a lot of wealth that we have acquired in restoring that health, which we have lost. So again, we have to have a clear goal. Okay. And once we have the clear goal, we should have a planning ahead of time. Preparation is necessary to glide into Vanaprastha. Suddenly we cannot say tomorrow I'm retiring. I will say from my own experience, mental preparation is the highest preparation that we need to do. Suppose I retire, quit my job and sit at home. What would I do next? Because we would want to do something, and if I don't have a plan, I would be pretty miserable. Guruji tells this joke, and it's not my joke. I'm going to tell that next. As a Vanaprasthi, we go to forest. We stay there, but if the goal is not clear, I want to do something, and over there in the forest, I will open a tea shop. I want to sell something. So for the Vanaprasthis, I will open a tea shop and I will start selling tea over there because my goal was not clear and I had not worked on my goal clearly. So we need to have a clear goal, and then accordingly we have to plan ahead of time, do the preparation, and then while we are high up there, we have to add our landing gear slowly so that we have a soft landing into Vanaprastha instead of a hard landing. So we need to plan way much ahead of time so that we would be gliding slowly into the Vanaprastha. But for that, we need to understand the principle of graceful aging. So I will quickly mention one more time, doing something that is appropriate for the age and with correct attitude. So what is appropriate for the student? Learning. What is appropriate for the householder? Earning. What is appropriate for the Vanaprastha? Turning, making a U-turn, turn inside. And for the renunciate, no return. So learn, earn, turn, and no return. Again, these are not my words. These are Guruji's words, Tejomayendra's words. So learn, earn, turn, and no return. And so for that, if we follow these principles, then there would be graceful aging. As the saying goes, you kick the world before world kicks you. So for that, we have to have planning ahead of time. Otherwise, there would be graceless aging, not graceful aging. We would be losing health. We would be just complaining, and then whoever comes and talks to us, we would be giving our health bulletin. Or what happened 50 years ago when I was young, and then there we go, there begins the story, and then they don't want to listen to us. They run away from us. So that would be the graceless aging. So graceful aging would be following these principles, preparing ahead of time, and slowly gliding into the Vanaprastha. And what do we do in Vanaprastha? We cannot be just sitting something in Vanaprastha. We need to do something. So for that, you'll have to come to the next session, where I will explain clearly what is given in the scriptures, what to do in the Vanaprastha, but you have an idea at least about graceful aging. And if you remember 4 things for 4 stages: learn, earn, turn, and no return. So how do we make a successful U-turn? That is the most important part. How do we make a successful, meaningful U-turn so that we are a blessing to ourselves and we are a blessing to the society also? And nobody would want to run away from us. Oh, there she begins, there she goes her story. There she's saying 50 years back, something like this happened. No, graceful aging, for that, right thinking and proper planning is necessary. So that we are adding our landing gear ahead of time. So we have a soft landing and not a hard landing. Okay, now I have 2 more minutes. In that, I'm going to talk about being peaceful, calm, all the time. That doesn't matter whether we are Vanaprasthi or student or anybody. And for that, several techniques are there. As we go further, I will elaborate on different techniques. But today, I'm going to talk about Shanti mantra. Okay, as Jayji mentioned, it is very important to chant mantras correctly. But any mantra, any Shanti mantra begins with Om. Then there would be Shanti mantra. And then it will end in Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, so I'm going to give you an idea about 3 Shantis. Now I see some of the ladies from my Devi group. I'm not going to ask you a quiz, but they have already learned it and they can mention what are the 3 Shantis. But just for everyone else, I will try to say quickly. First of all, what does Om mean? Om, as we know, is a very sacred symbol made up of 3 matras, A, U, Ma. And it is actually In short, if you can say, it is a direct connection to the Lord. We are talking to the Lord at that time. When we say Om, we are having direct connection with the Lord. Then our Shanti mantra will come, and then Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. This is peace, peace, peace. 3 times it is said. One peace is for the Adi Daivik forces. Okay, so peace from 3 different factors. Adi Daivik, like phenomenal forces, like getting lot of rain, torrential rain, earthquake, fire, or tornado, something like that. Those obstacles coming, let me have peace from these. That's the first Shanti is about. So usually that Shanti we say loudly. So assuming it goes far away also. Then the second one. Second one is for Adi Bhautik. Bhautik, surrounding. So for whatever obstacles coming from the surrounding. Meaning people around us, animal around us, or we want to say what we can add additionally more for the surrounding. For example, when we were in India, they would say mosquitoes. Biting mosquitoes while you're attending the class. That was Adibhautik. Or coronavirus, probably we could include in that now. So having control over that, getting over those obstacles, that is the second Shanti. And third Shanti is for us, Adhyatmik. The problems, obstacles coming from myself, from my own body, my health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, or having doubts, lack of faith, having grief, sorrow, dejection. So for all that, having peace or overcoming those obstacles, that's the third Shanti. So when we have Shanti from all these 3 angles, then what we will be able to do? We will be able to make correct U-turn. Also, that would be for anyone. Student, they would be able to, good, successful student. Householder, in office, everywhere for being successful, these 3 Shantis are necessary. So, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So that is the power of Shanti mantra. I know in the advertisement it was said graceful aging and power of Shanti mantra. So I'm trying to cover both in 20 minutes. So I hope I'm giving you at least a little bit introduction about these points, and will elaborate more on the next time. But I will end up with one joke. And joke meaning it's a fact of life. It's not a joke, but we can take it as a joke. As I said, mental preparation is necessary for us. So we need to be flexible. Physically, Jayji is going to showing us how to be physically flexible. But also we get set in stone. This is how I'm going to do things, and we don't change. That's what also that mental attitude we need to change. So I will tell you this one joke and then I will end. Somebody, yoga teacher, Jayji, for example, yoga teacher was teaching yoga to senior people, Vanaprasthis. And he said, deep breathe in, hands you are up, and then touch your toes. Go down, as he was showing in Paschimottanasana. So go down and touch your toes. So this person says, remember, flexibility, physical and our mental or ability to change also. We lose that. What the response was, this person says, if Lord wanted me to touch those toes, he would have put those on my knees. So then I will be able to touch those. I'm so ingrained, I'm not going to change myself. So my Lord has to change. He has to put those toes on my knees. Then only I would touch the toes. Let's not have something like this. Let's be flexible. Let's be open. And let's glide nicely into the Vanaprastha and graceful aging. All right. So I tried to cover what is Vanaprastha. I'm not going to take a quiz, but what is Vanaprastha? The meaning given by the scriptures, what we routinely think Vanaprastha has, and what is given by scriptures. So we have to make a U-turn. And when we make a U-turn, how do we make a successful U-turn? That's what we are talking about. And so graceful aging and having power of Shanti mantra. So I wanted to chant one Shanti mantra, but that's okay. Next time we'll do it. Even if you remember.
We have time, Muktaji. We can have 2 minutes. Please go ahead and chant.
I hope I chanted rightly. Now Jaiji made me a little bit nervous. So because it had to be chanted correctly, I will bring it on the slide. And those who want to say, they can say with me. Graceful aging. And that's what it is. Now my Devi group ladies know this pretty well. They also can chant it. But I will do, and then slightly on the side I have given what this is for also I have given. So I will try to chant it. Om apyayantu mamangani vak pranashchakshutram atho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharmaha Te Mai Santu Te Mai Santu Shanti. 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 Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Forgive Lord if I have made any mistakes in chanting. Hari Om. Thank you so much for listening. And then I hand over back to Sangeeta ji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, I just want to make one announcement. If you are interested in this topic, please, for future on this topic, please send an email at info@chinmayasomnath.org with your name, email ID, and a contact number. We can be in touch with you for future discussion on this topic. Thanks. And I will be posting this on the chat as well, the email address. Thank you.
Thank you, Medha ji. That was wonderful. Wonderful explanation about graceful aging and the Shanti mantra. I'm no judge about chanting, but it was so peaceful and calming. Thank you so much. So the next session is the health section. Geriatric health is very important. And I am Sangeeta Bala. I am a geriatric physician. I work in one of the hospitals here in Virginia. And I am a geriatric consultant in that hospital. And I thought to give a short COVID update. You all must be up to here about COVID. Let's keep it short and hopefully informative. So it was 1 year ago, January 2020, that the first case of COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 infection was reported on US soil. It may not really be the country's first case. Since then, we have learned a lot about the virus, but we still do not have a cure, although several treatments and drugs are available. Like always, prevention is better than cure. One can get COVID-19 through contact with another person who has the virus. It is predominantly a respiratory illness that can affect other organs too. It causes wide range of symptoms. Symptoms appear 2 to 14 days after exposure to virus. So an asymptomatic individual or individual who do not show any symptoms can spread the virus. The common symptoms are fever, chills, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, muscle aches, body aches, new loss of taste, smell, sore throat, congestion, runny nose, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. All these symptoms you all may be well aware of. One of the symptoms that's not common in young adults and seen in older adults. By older adults, I mean ages 65 and above. The more older you get, you do not exhibit symptoms that you see commonly in younger people, like fever, runny nose. They may not be able to express, they lost a sense of smell or even sore throat. Remember, as we are aging, our sense of smell, like vision, is also declining. Taste is also declining. So the one symptom that I'm talking about is change in your mental status, how change from the baseline, how your awareness to your surroundings, your consciousness, being awake, being oriented to place, person, time will suddenly change. That is something that you want to be watchful for in your loved one that you're taking care of, or a person with dementia. And when such people are hospitalized, they have very high risk for delirium and agitation. This is one of the reasons that geriatric physicians are called to help with. But actually today, I want to talk about how to continue to prevent this infection. Before I talk about vaccination, let's remind ourselves few simple ways that we already know how we can prevent COVID-19. Wear a face cover or a mask to cover your nose and your mouth. Wash your hands and keep a safe distance. Actually, our culture, the Hindu culture or the Indian culture or the Vedantic culture, is very in line with this. Keep your hands to yourself and be respectful of each other. Avoid close contact with people who are sick and who are not part of your household. And cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze, and you use a piece of tissue and make sure you dispose it off. Clean your hands either with soap, scrubbing 20 seconds, and use a hand sanitizer which has at least 60% of alcohol. Do not use your hand sanitizer on your face, and very careful when you touch your eyes. These practices also prevent not only getting the virus, but also transmitting the virus to others. Now let's talk about vaccine. The FDA, the US Food Drug Administration, has begun authorizing emergency use of COVID-19 vaccine. It takes a long time to develop a vaccine, but due to the pandemic, or in order to control the pandemic, the FDA has authorized 2 companies or vaccines that are produced by Pfizer, Biotech, and Moderna. These are a special type of vaccines called the mRNA vaccines. They're very smart vaccines. Usually what they do is they make vaccines out of attenuated microorganisms, and then they will give it to the people or put it in your body so that it provokes a immune response. However, this mRNA vaccine, what it does is it stimulates our body cells to produce a protein called S protein. You all have seen pictures of coronavirus, right? The spiky virus. What it represents is this S protein. And the mRNA vaccines actually stimulate our body cells to produce those proteins on the surface, and our immune system produces antibodies. And these antibodies are supposed to protect you from the COVID virus. So these vaccines, the Pfizer one is authorized to be given to anybody 16 and above. It's 2 injections, and it is 21 days apart. And the Moderna vaccine for anybody greater than 18 years and older, also 2 injections. This one is 28 days apart. You cannot mix these 2 vaccines. Remember, you have to get the same kind, both the doses. There are several vaccines that are still under research and they are yet to be authorized. So what should you know before you get these vaccines? Read the ingredients carefully and make sure you do not have allergies to any of these ingredients. If you have allergies to other vaccines or other food or drugs, please let your provider know so that they are aware. But you can still get the vaccine with caution. So what are the side effects that you get with the vaccine? It's like the flu shot. You know, you get the pain, swelling at the vaccine site, soreness. You'll get tiredness, headache, chills, joint pain, fever, nausea, just feeling unwell, and sometimes swollen lymph nodes. Actually, I got all of these, just so you know. However, you can take some acetaminophen or Tylenol or Motrin or ibuprofen to help you with these symptoms. Lot of rest, drink plenty of water will be helpful in managing these side effects. There is also severe allergic reaction that you should know of that can happen. You know, difficulty breathing, swelling, throat, tongue, fast heartbeat. But for this, you have to call 911 or go to the hospital. And they will be very aware of these symptoms at the vaccination site. They will request you to stay 15 to 30 minutes to be monitored. So since a lot of people want this vaccine and we don't have whole lot at a given time, they have come up with how these vaccines are going to be given out. The phase 1A, or the first individuals to receive these vaccines, as you know, are healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, anybody, physical therapists, anybody who work in the hospital or any healthcare setting coming in close contact with patients. The patients above 75 and older, the EMS, law enforcement, firemen, and now public and private school teachers and staff are being authorized to get it. So although Governor Ralph Northam has said individuals below 65 65 and above can get it. So he has brought down the age from 75 to 65, and also from 16 to 64 who have high risk medical conditions or disabilities who are at high risk to get COVID are also allowed to get now. However, how can you get this vaccine? The best way from my observation and careful research and understanding is call your doctor. Call your doctor and ask, is the vaccine available at your site? Can I make an appointment to come and receive that vaccine? So I would suggest individuals who are 75 and above and 65 and above, first reach out to your physicians. Then check with your local health system, like, Innova Health System is a big one. And I'm going to put on the information one slide where, different sites that you can go and get information, how to schedule an appointment, and how to go, where to go, and what are the things you need to do to get this vaccine. And the other website is your own health department. Virginia Health Department website, also you can go and you can walk in, or they'll have information to make appointment and get this vaccine. And CDC is also a very good resource for you to get information about vaccines. I think I pretty much covered what I wanted to say, and I thought I would conclude my talk because I use this mantra to, whenever I feel anxious, and also when I have fear of diseases. So it is Mrityunjay mantra. So I'll chant that and conclude my talk. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकम् एव बन्धनात् मृत्यो मुक्ष्यामृतात्. And I also like, if Medha ji says this, I have to say this. I please apologize if I made any mistake in my pronunciation and my chanting. Hari Om. With this, I want to start our open mic session, and I'm going to hand over it to Gomiti ji to invite our participants to speak about anything that they find interesting today, to share their interesting experience, and also ask questions. But before that, I'm sorry, I promised to share this slide. If I may, how do I say, share screen? Is this slide visible?
Not yet, Sangeeta ji.
One participant. Okay, maybe I'm not doing a good job. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I will put this information in the chat. Is that okay? I'm sorry about that. I'm not doing a good job sharing this slide. Okay. So I'll pass it on to Gomiti ji to start the open mic session.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the very first Zoom Vanaprastha session. We hope to continue with this with different modules and expand and have from your input what you like to see here will be incorporated. First of all, I want to thank JG for the wonderful presentation. It was really nice. And Medhaji's was very inspiring. Hope all of us will turn inwards and, need to do a self-analysis and calm down and for self-improvement. Hoping to hear much more tips from you, Medhaji, in the coming sessions. And Sangeeta's was very inspiring. I have several questions for Sangeeta. So we will read one at a time, Sangeeta. After a small presentation, we want to invite Murali ji, because this is as much as we want to hear the other information and discuss. We also want to remember the Republic Day approaching and have few nice thoughts to share with us. Murali ji is here. I want to invite Murali ji. Murali ji. Murali is here. I think he is muted. Murali, we cannot hear you. Okay, while we connect with Muraliji, let me ask one question to Sangeeta. When Muraliji is back, he can share his views about. The first question I have is from Aparnaji and Nareshji. When we don't control what vaccine we are being given, how do we control what type of vaccine is our second dose? I think the question is.
I understood the
Okay.
question, Gomati ji. Thank you so much. So the question is, I think it's coming from when I said get the same vaccine, both the doses. Actually, when you get your first dose of vaccine, they will ask you to make the appointment at the same facility, to go back to the same facility to go and get your second dose. So even before you leave, you will be asked to make that appointment. And you go back to the same place to ensure that you get the same type. And also they'll give you a card. And when you go back to get your second dose, you have to produce that card so that they have an documented evidence that what type of vaccine you got. So you don't have these kind of mistakes happen. Hope that answered the question.
Okay. Next, Muraliji is saying that he needs permission to speak. Balaji, could
Yeah,
you?
we can. He should be able to unmute by now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Om, Kumudiji. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Hari Om, guests. January 26th each year is a day to remember when India's constitution came into force in 1950, completing the country's transition towards becoming an independent republic. When I was in school, used to go to school and have the national flag pinned to our shirts. In the school, usually a chief guest or the head of the school would hoist the national flag and we will sing the national anthem. Then we will come back home happy because there are no classes, no homework, and we used to enjoy. On top of that, this is the 72nd Republic Day. When I come back from school, we used to watch the event, the Republic Day event, with the Prime Minister laying a wreath on Amar Jawan Jyoti at India Gate to remember the soldiers who sacrificed their lives for India. Large military parades would be shown, and then the Indian Army, Navy, and Air Force would bring in some of their modern weapons for display. And then we will have the traditional dance troops take part in the parades. We used to enjoy those colorful events. And the final event would be all our troop of flights showering the audience with flowers and then making the Indian flag in the sky. Used to enjoy that scene. I specifically remember one incident in the elementary school, which I want to share with you. When I was in 5th grade, my dad was a doctor at Vellore. He was invited to my elementary school as the chief guest for the Republic Day. When he pulled the thread to hoist the flagpole gave way and the flag came down. He caught the pole in one hand and somehow managed to hold the flag as well. Then he tied the flagpole and raised the flag again and saved the day. My brother, who was studying the same school with me, was narrating it later at my home, and we all were laughing about it. It is still in my evergreen memory. Later, my dad said he brought a huge bag of chocolates for the school kids, which the head of the school kept in her room for herself. He was very unhappy she did not share it with the school children. Even by sharing small incidents, our elders directly or indirectly teach us lots of values in sharing, giving, and other life activities which would bring joy to all of us. We all make mistakes, and if we learn from our own mistakes, or even better, if we learn from others' mistakes, it would be really good for us. From a scientific point of view, Albert Einstein has said, if we are not making mistakes, we are not learning anything, and we are not learning anything new. So with this, I'll conclude and Hariom again, and thank you for this great opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Murli. Thank you very much. That was really, it brought back a lot of memories from India during the Republic time. Next, I have questions from Aparna and Naresh. Sangeeta, this is for you. You mentioned to call your doctor, but local governments are asking us to register on their sites as doctors don't have the vaccine for distribution. Since I am high risk, appreciate what is the right guidance.
So you have two ways to go about it. Yes, you have to register as you're recommended, but also keep in touch with your doctors. It may be a little too early for high-risk individuals to be getting the vaccines. Right now, vaccines, other than the healthcare workers, are being provided to elderly people who are 75 and above, and they're bringing it down slowly to 65, and the next group will be yours. So continue to register, but also be on an alert because it'll be distributed by your local physicians too.
So I have a question for you, Sangeeta. So what should one do as a prevention? The epidemics are going to happen. If not this epidemic, something else will come. Another pandemic may come. As a general instruction, if you have to tell somebody, what would you say?
So we have, in a way, no control over this. So we can only do things that we know to do. I will comment about COVID-19 only, because this is something that we have never experienced. And this virus is a coronavirus, which is also causes common cold. But this particular strain is very, very virulent and causes much, much more higher severity. And you all know, people are dying. And however, the one thing that we know is a lot of people have recovered from this also. So prevention, that's why I talked about prevention today. And we don't even know if these vaccines are going to work, although they have said that it is 95% effective. So we have hope in terms of vaccine. But prevention by following the hygienic practice, avoid social gatherings, more than even 5 people. I would really recommend stay in your own homes, stay in your own household. If you have to be in a public setting, maintain that 6 feet social distancing, wear face cover, and wash your hands and sanitize this, and also maintain a healthy dietary habits, exercise as well. The lifestyle is very important. These things are under our control and we can do that. So that's why, even in our Vanaprastha program, We have these sessions to promote, healthy body, keep your mind calm, pure mind, and of course, brilliant intellect, right? If we practice these things, we can hope to prevent this disease. But once we get it, we have hope too. And I'm in the hospital and I just see the level of treatments that are happening is also there. The thing is, this is like a tsunami. Who knew this will happen? And it just took the world over. And I'm thinking, like everything else, this shall too pass. But we have to endure this, and we have some information. That's why we are sharing.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Sangeeta. That was really very comforting to know that the treatments are developed and developing, and many are recovering. That is a very positive message. And also your message about our lifestyle, about taking life easily, breathe in, eat well, exercise, all of that you have brought in very, these are important points, and it's really good to hear from a physician like you who are treating the geriatric, the senior citizens. Truly appreciate your very valuable input and your positive confirmation. Thank you. Next, I like to invite our Vedanta teacher Vijay Kumarji to say a few words.
Hari Om, can you hear me?
Yes, Vijay Kumarji.
Very good. First Vanaprastha with the boom. It's very nice. Kalathil's yoga lessons and Medhaji's Vedanta and Dr. Sangeetaji's COVID-19. It was very, very informative and good for senior citizens. Vanaprastha, I hope everybody understood. Now, I would like to recognize one person in this group. He is Vanaprastha specialist. He is none other than Shiva from 16th batch, Sandipani. He is in Atlanta, Georgia. He is present here today and he will give us his directions. Thank you. Hari Om.
Shivaji, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, yes, thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om, Vijayji, Medhaji, Sangeetaji, and Gomadiji, and all others. So happy to be here. I just, finished joining New Jersey Ramdut Vanaprastha. That's why I could not be present from the beginning. I did mention to Sangeetaji and Medhaji also that I'll be joining late. And so thank you. And what I'm hearing after I joined is, you have all had a very, very nice session. Really appreciate that. And this is really the virtual Vanaprastha is one way all our Vanaprasthas like it. And, it's now, we started from August, September onwards. Other centers have started and it's benefiting very, very much. Of course, in Alpharetta, we had been trying this from March onwards. Ever since we went into COVID, we started this and worked out very, very well. And in fact, we are able to get more and more Vanaprasthas from their home rather than driving to the ashram and so on. So it's working out very, very nicely. And I'm so glad that of all these centers, what we have started so far from August to now, and this is the maximum number of participants I saw, 68 when I joined on the first day itself. So that's great. And also it looks like, you all had a very nice set of topics also to discuss and share. And I was just listening to some of the comments about COVID. And I just want to share that I had my vaccination yesterday. And it was a very nice experience. Process and all is so smooth. And I was really very impressed with the atmosphere there and so on. So I would encourage, as all Vanaprastha, when the opportunity comes, please do. Of course, in Georgia, they opened it up for 65 and above, but we'll have to figure it out in terms of where to get it and all that. But I'm sure in your state and all and respective state will be different.
But anyway, thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to joining. Anything we can do in terms of sharing, please do. And if you want, of course, Sangeeta ji is there in the national coordinator group. If any of you want to be also joining there in terms of sharing and exchanging information, please feel free. And if anything else needed, also feel free, to access that. And thank you Vijay ji for this opportunity to.
Thank you, Shivaji. It's very nice to see you, face to face, even though it is only Zoom, but it's lovely to see you. And thanks for talking the other day, and I really appreciate all your guidance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Gurudev's blessings.
Hariom, Vijayji, would you like to say something else?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Vijayji.
Very good.
I have another question. Dr. Sangeeta, this is for you. mRNA disintegrates in a few hours. Given recent nature of the epidemic, vaccine studies cannot cover long-term side effects. What is your input?
So the question, I hear two parts to the question, right? That mRNA disintegrates in few hours, and also it cannot cover long-term side effects. I think I understand this question well. So disintegrates once in the body, I'm not sure if that's what it means, or does it mean that the storage of these vaccines? So for both of it, they have their processes. And of course, you're right. We do not really know how long the protective effect of the vaccine will be there. So a lot of things we don't know about these vaccines. But what we know is when they get into your body, they will provoke that response, antibody response, because that's what is important to prevent the disease. The side effects, which I talked about, are not long lasting. I just had them for a day or two, and that's what you're supposed to have it. And it varies from individual to individual. Some of them don't experience severe side effects. They go away. I really believe this is how I understood the question. If not, I would request that participant to be allowed to unmute themselves and ask that question themselves.
This is from Ritu Sachdev. Rituji, did it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Hariom. So actually, I was trying to answer a previous question. I was not asking a question. I think somebody asked, how long the mRNA, so I was trying to answer that, it disintegrates in a few hours. And what I was trying to say was that the studies cannot cover long-term. We don't know about long-term side effects because it's only been around for a year. And the vaccine studies have not gone on that long. So we don't know the answer to that question. And, short-term side effects, I think all of us are aware. I have received both my doses, and my 83-year-old dad actually received his first dose last week. And, besides a few side effects like the arm pain and, a little bit of fatigue, which, you kind of feel a little drugged probably after the second dose. No major side effects, at least for me or my dad and mom. They both received it. But obviously, things are different. They haven't studied it specifically in South Asians, but from what I hear from colleagues in India, it's about the same. People have fever and muscle aches and things like that. Of course, the bigger ones with the serious allergic reaction and all that gets a lot of press. So everybody hears about that in the news. But I think just like most vaccines, we kind of, it's a risk-benefit ratio right now with the raging pandemic. If you can get it, I would recommend all our, members to try to get it. What we don't know is how long it's going to be protective. So that's the one thing we don't know, but I think even if it's good for a few months and if it can get us out, it's probably still worthwhile.
Thank you, Rita ji. Thank you so much. And I'm asking our Vijay ji to get the vaccine and take a photo of him to promote in our Chinmaya Mission chapter. And Vijay ji promised he'll do that for us. Right, Vijay ji? Yes, without fail, please. Sangeeta has gotten her vaccine. So that is
I can post mine. I mean, if you want
Please.
hard evidence of the picture, I can put it. But
Yes.
honestly, I got it.
Yes, no, it would be encouraging for everyone to see Vijay ji, especially because I may say Vijay ji is in the Vanaprastha group, so it will encourage you more.
I am too.
Okay, Vijay Lakshmi auntie has raised the screen name. Vijay Lakshmi ji, would you like to ask a question? Balaji, could you please unmute Vijay Lakshmi? The screen name is Vijay Lakshmi auntie. Yes.
Hari Om. So I have a question for Sangeeta ji. Is it possible to arrange to vaccinate the seniors of Chinmaya Somana being a
The vaccines are being distributed by the federal government to their agencies. So private organizations cannot organize the vaccination at this time. However, I'm always on alert to get information. And if there is anything like that, if we can organize it, we will definitely organize it for our community.
Thank you.
But it's not available at this time.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji. Hari Om.
Hari.
I think another question, how long the mRNA of vaccine will be in our body? Will it alter the cells and nucleus of our system? In other words, will there be any long-term side? I think we kind of answered it in one of the questions.
So one thing I'll mention about the mRNA, Gomati ji, I think this information or this question is somewhat going around, and I heard about it. If mRNA vaccines will cause cancer, if they'll alter the cells that cause cancer. Actually, they have shown that it will not do that because mRNA is a messenger RNA. It does not alter the DNA. The DNA should be altered in order to produce cancer type cells or cancer causing cells. So right now, what we know is that the mRNA should not be causing or altering the cells. What they do is they encourage these cells to produce these S protein on their surface only. It's a protein it is causing them to produce. So it's not causing any cell alteration. So this is what we know right now, and that's what I'm sharing with you.
Okay, I have another question for you. If no one else has a question, I'll ask that and then ask the second question. Should we be worried about the second strain? The news that's been floated yesterday in the UK, they announced that, the second strain. So the first vaccine that's already released, will it help with the second strain?
It's a good question. So all viruses mutate. So I'm not surprised because the viruses are very smart. That's why we don't have a good treatment. Think about common cold, we have it forever. So the flu vaccine, for example, we have to make a new vaccine every year because we know the following year it'll be a different strain. However, the vaccine that is made is actually for strains from the previous year. So the current vaccine, it's not like a live vaccine. It is an mRNA vaccine, right? And the common sense tells me as it's promoting this S protein and producing antibodies, it should be protective, although I cannot say it 100% at this time. We have to wait to get more information. And before this talk, whatever I looked at, I did not find that information yet. But that's what my common sense tells me.
Okay, I have. So you are again, it kind of brings back to the point. All of you keep a good lifestyle, eat well, exercise, manage a good breathe in, breathe out, do yoga. It will automatically develop the immunity. I have a question, two questions. One is any idea on availability of vaccine in Chicago area? The second question is, do you recommend taking certain vitamins as a preventive measure, especially for geriatric age?
So for the first question, idea of availability in Chicago area. So if you go to the CDC website, the Center for Disease Control website, and they are giving information with states. So you can go in, click in on which state you are in, and then it takes you to which city. So you can go that way and get more information. So when I am in Virginia and Northern Virginia, I'm able to give more information because more information is available. But Chicago, I'm not sure, but that would be my recommendation. For the second question, of course, there is no particular vitamin that you can take and prevent coronavirus. But however, we should maintain good nutrition, which means we should take our vitamins. You know, all your B complex vitamins, B12 vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin A, D. We don't go out in the sun at all. So vitamin D, vitamin E and K. E and K, if you, they are usually in our, if you eat good food, you will get it, but there also should be in multivitamin. The D, I would suggest you check your vitamin D level with your doctor, and depending upon what your level is, you supplement the vitamin D. And vitamin A supplementation is always there in your multivitamin. You know, eat a good green leafy vegetables have good vitamins. Carrots have your vitamin A. And I am also guilty. I don't like to go in the sun. You know, we carry umbrellas and things like that. And I'm not fond of the sun, but spend some time in the sun and get your good vitamin D also. That is the easiest way and probably the cheapest way to get your vitamin D.
Thank you. Because I read in AARP magazine, suddenly there is a lot of recommendation to take a lot of vitamin D, lot of it. So in high doses. So that's a valid question. I did read that article. So thank you.
So,
Thank you for clarifying that.
yeah, the high dose, once again, I said check your level first and then supplement it. The high doses also, you should go to your doctor and they will tell you the high doses, whether you have to take it once a week or once a month and how. This is to build up your level quickly. And then you maintain your level, vitamin D. So you're right. The high doses also can be harmful. So you should be very careful and how you take the vitamin D. Always, you know, I'm giving you all these recommendations and information, but you before you take any vitamin D or any medications, you should always check with your physician. Go to your physician, do the good workup. It could be blood test or any investigation that's needed. Then let the doctor prescribe. So it should always be that process.
Thank you. I think we are about time. Sangeeta, you want to say the concluding prayer?
And I, at this time, anybody in the audience would like to raise their hands. It's your one last opportunity. We'll have, I mean, I know we are way over time, but this is our first program. We are so excited. We want to see if there's anybody in the audience who want to share anything. You know, it could be Republic Day. It could be my favorite Republic Day memory is, I don't know, those candies we will get. After the flag raising, we sing the Janagana Mana and we'll get some candies. I don't know. Those candies are so precious and brought so much of joy and happiness. So if you want to share something like this or anything, you have maybe 1 to 2 participants, you know, 1 to 2 minutes, because this would be an example for our future open mic sessions in our upcoming programs.
Please raise your hand so we can unmute you. Also, I just want to make an announcement. If you send an email to info@chinmayasomnath.org that I posted in the chat with your information so that we can reach back to you for future programs. Thank you. Neelamji, go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, will we be having, I know there was a mention that we'll continue these Vanaprastha meetings in the future. So will we, like how you sent us an email, will you be sending us like that instead of like how you've asked that we should send you that we want to have future sessions?
All of you will get the information,
For the
Neelam.
future session.
Yeah, if you're a member,
good.
you will automatically get the newsletter. And
Yeah.
yes.
I remember.
Neelamji, Neelamji, we'll be continuing a Vanaprastha program. The
Okay.
email ID that we shared is to get more feedback from the participants today. You know, we want to get more feedback, what they like to do more. And if in that email, if they can share, you know, we will get their email ID. And our plan was to send like a survey, you know, asking for more input so that we can, so this is also evolving program, and we like to, you know, do these things, you know, more interestingly as much as possible and catering to our audience. So that's the point. But we will be sending flyers the same way, information, and our plan is to do it once a month for now.
That's good. That's good. Because what Shivaji was saying in Atlanta, so then last year, you know, Chinmaya West had already started it in California area, you know, so it was, I always used to tell Swami Ishwananda ji, I wish we could have on our side too, you know, so it's good now that we started. So
we actually had in person. We also started, if I remember right, last year, October, in last year meaning 2019. We did 3 sessions in person, and we wanted to continue in 2020 when the pandemic happened. But now that we have the virtual by, you know, Gurudev's and Swami Dhiranandaji's blessing, we had our first program, and we will continue this.
that's why I'm very happy with COVID, because I can attend all the spiritual sessions, because I could not, because of surgeries and all, I couldn't come there. No, I couldn't drive.
Also, just to, this is Siva again, Hari Om.
Hari
Just to
Om.
add to what Sangeeta ji was saying, you know, we'll have it monthly basis from different centers. And to the extent possible, we will try to not to have it at the same time, so that, you know, people across the country, they're all logging into wherever, whichever program is there, especially Vanaprasthas, you know, they would love to get this way, the best way to get engaged. So we're trying to schedule it across the country as and when the new centers also starting news program in such a way that it doesn't conflict with the other existing programs. So that way you will be able to attend whichever convenient to you and how many number you want to attend.
Thank you.
Ananji, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Sorry, yeah. Namaste, my name is Anant from Chicago area. And I am really very happy that about today's meeting. And also I want to tell you something about what I have been doing for the past 2 months or 3 months, thanks to Jay. I have been attending, my wife and I, we attend this program in the morning, get up at 4 o'clock faithfully every day and do the 3 SRB and the meditation and the yoga practices. And I'm telling you, it is such a tremendous change in life. It so happened that I got exposed to studying Bhagavad Gita at the same time. So now all day I am into it, most of it. So I'm very grateful to Jay. On the 3 SRB, I feel a lot of improvement in breathing. My wife tells me that I'm coughing much less than before. So thank you, Jay, and thank you guys for your fantastic job.
Thank you, Anandji.
I also wanted to say to Jay, because I know him since many, many years too. So I wanted to say he looks the same and he looks amazing. It must be the yoga practice, because I also did that same. I'm a registered, like a trained yoga teacher, but I'm not able to do like to teach or anything anymore. And I've never taught like as a for money, but always in this kind of a way. So it's so good. I'm so happy to see Jay today because of the Zoom Vanaprastha. I was smiling and I was saying, "Oh, he looks the same." Since so many years, I've been seeing him, and he looks the same.
Yeah, I agree. It was an excellent session every day. I attend only sometimes, but it's excellent. Thank you very much, JG. Really appreciate that. And today, Dr. Sangeeta ji did an excellent, informative session on answering all the questions that we all had, or we didn't know whom to ask for clarifications. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji.
You're welcome. I also posted in the chat the websites that you can go and get more information. These websites, you right, sometimes because of all the media available, there is sometimes an overload of information. So I picked out the reliable websites and I put them in the chat. So if there are no further questions, I would conclude this program if everybody agrees. So I'm going to conclude with the closing prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamujachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. With that, until next time, have a healthy body, pure mind, and brilliant intellect. Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Balaji, for hosting the Zoom meeting for us. And we also want to recognize Dineshji and Neelima here for all the help and promotion and effort. Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta. Amazing effort and your persistent attitude and planning and approaching. It's a very good session. So many logged in, and thank you for all your information. Thank you so much.
Yeah, at this time, I like to recognize all the panelists. JG, Medha ji, Dinesh ji, who was in the background with promotions, Balaji, Shivavelu ji, Vijay Kumar ji, my strength and dear friend, Sister Gomati ji, I should recognize her, absolutely. And Saraswati Sarah, there's so many more in the background who I appreciate for all your support. Without them, this program cannot happen. And also with the blessings of always Gurudev and Swami Dhirananda ji, I am ever grateful for being part of this Chinmaya mission. I am ever grateful. Hari Om.